Hello, friends. Thank you for watching the next video. We are here to talk about the track and trace mechanism which came up today through this budget. It was announced in the 15th Council meeting that they are going to launch the track and trace mechanism, and they will bring in enabling sections through 148A in the Council meeting last December. And that is what we saw today in the budget bill that they came up with, the track and trace mechanism. Now, what is it all about is what we are here to speak on. First of all, the bare provision 148A is in the bill, which basically says that government would notify the class of basically the goods, the type of goods or the class of people holding some goods, specific goods, which would be under this mechanism. 122B is also added in the law, which basically covers the penal consequences if the notified class of people or goods are not following the mechanism. Then what will happen? Basically, they are going to be penalized by 10% of the tax or 1 lakh rupees, whichever is higher. And yes, obviously, a unique identification marking definition has come up in section 2112A. To talk more, one on what it is being applicable, it's on applicable on goods and a class of people. Class of people would typically mean, in my view, importers, and obviously goods means the sectors where they want to specifically track and trace. That is what they will cover, and those people who are manufacturing those goods is what I believe they will start, because it very clearly covers the entire supply chain which they want to track as a mechanism. Why it is being implemented? Well, a fun fact I will give you on specific one of the sector, which is tobacco, cigarettes. The top selling cigarette in the specifically in the metro cities is the one which is not manufactured in India, and it is never officially imported into India. So if you really see this fun fact, we see a huge revenue leakage happening. You know, the top selling, and I obviously don't want to name anyone, but that's the data. You can please find out in your own ways and mechanism. But that's the point where I'm bringing in that the counterfeit goods are the ones which they are targeting. The smuggling of the activities or the goods is what they are targeting, and that's where specifically these kind of mechanism will play a good role. Obviously, revenue leakage, smuggling, counterfeit is what we do, and consumer to check. So obviously, the entire supply chain is there. So if you're able to track and trace perfectly, you exactly know the consumers. The next step in the supply chain would obviously know where the goods are and how when it is being expected to be received. How we said it's a unique identification marking defined under 2112A. That is the marking which will be given. Is kind of a barcode if I want to think about. But that is what we'll come to know more when the regulations are coming up or will come out. But that kind of barcode or that kind of marking will come in, which is unique specifically to those goods. Now, how do we know that these kind of this could be like a barcode or this could be similar to something like this and not GPS? Is basically because this mechanism is not new in the world. If I go back to the global space, Russia introduced the same track and trace mechanism in 2017. China did it in 2007. Turkey did it in a very big way in 2012. And UK did it in 2019. I think India will just following the footsteps of the developed economies and going to we are going to see this kind of space for specific goods. When we say what type of goods are covered globally, I think when India is following the footsteps of the law and the mechanism and the rules, I think the type of goods also as such should be similar. So I'm expecting that the goods which are being going to be covered are tobacco related as far as Indian economy is concerned, specifically on cigarettes and pan masala. It could be or it could be not. Time will say, but very uniquely, I want to put up here is globally, even pharmaceutical drugs are covered under this mechanism. So whether it will come in or not, or whether it will come as a second phase, time will have to say. But counterfeit pharma drugs are also very well known globally as a activity which they want to circumvent, and that's where I think India will also see if that is a problem statement by the government. But yes, I'm aware about the tobacco products, which are certainly a big time issue. We have seen so many custom rulings and custom cases where we have seen the case studies where smuggling has been happening, or on the import side, even the local manufacturing on the counterfeit activities have happened. Again, another fun fact on the alcohol front, which I've not talked about, even that has been covered globally under the track and trace mechanism. In India, I'm not sure if they are going to you look at that sector as well. But again, as we all know, in India, last 4 years back, there was a big brand which officially announced that in India the sales are equivalent to much more than the total manufactured alcohol by them by the manufacturing unit. So again, it just proves that how much of counterfeit or smuggled or even wrong items are being sold within the country. Um, One last point before I part is the ID issuer. Globally, we see that there's an ID issuer, an agency, nominated agency by the government, who is basically going to give the UIMs, the unique identification marking, to the people who are going to seek and apply for getting the UIMs. So those people, for that matter, manufacturers will go to the ID issuers, will apply for it, and they will get the UIMs from them, which will be applied on the goods, and the entire chain from manufacturer to distributor to wholesaler to retailer and the final consumer, the goods are going to be tracked. If I want to just lay down a simple way of explaining what is this mechanism for us, we all would have purchased goods from e-commerce platforms, and we typically see and track, when we've ordered the goods and it says that the delivery is expected in 3 days. If we go down deeper, we see that the goods have been moved from, let's say, Gurgaon warehouse to Bombay warehouse. Then we say from Bombay warehouse the delivery guy moved it to another location. Then the guy, the final person, is going to transfer the goods or is out for delivery, and then we are able to get the goods at home as the expected time. So that basically is nothing but a track and trace mechanism for that good done privately by the company, by the e-commerce giant, for giving the comfort to the consumer of where your goods are. Now, this same mechanism, if I want to apply, and this is by the way not GPS, this is just a tracking mechanism, because whoever is receiving it is putting the data back to the government saying that yes, I have received these goods, and that is what an activity of the entire chain would be coming up specifically on the goods which will be notified. Looking forward for the regulations, and we'll see how it is being used and for the benefit of the economy. Thank you.